All of you, hope you guys are great and welcome back to yet another video. So in the last video we had built our collection section. In this video we're going to build this follower component. So this is the component we're going to design. We will have this tab and we can easily able to switch between different component and display dynamic data. It's 100% responsive. We'll have this function follow unfollow. So this is the component we're going to design. You can see it's 100% working. Okay, so let's have a look. Nice overview. Let's come back to the code editor, and here I have opened the project in my code editor. Make sure you do that, then you can able to code along with me. So the very first thing we have to do is to create a folder for this particular component. Okay, so let's click on this component section and create a new folder. Let's call it follower tab. Okay, this is the folder. Copy and simply create a JSX file. This will call follower.jsx, and in that we have to create the CSS file for that. So follower module.css. So this is the file in which we're going to design our tabs. So let's create the React functional based components. Our type RFCE. Let's do the internal import. We need to import our CSS file. So import style, and that's coming from the same directory. Okay, let's close this one. Close. Let's come down here in the component index, and here we have to import this file. So import, we have to follower tabs, and that's coming from the component, and simply copy that and pass it here, export it. So let's close it, and now let's come to the pages, go to this index.js, and here we need to import the component, and here we going to, let's come up here right above the collections, and here we're going to call the component, so follower tab. Okay, so that's the tab for the follower. Okay, if we come to the application, and here you can see we have our new collections, and here we have the follower tab. Here we have the follower tab, so it's working fine. So let's come back, and we should give a title. Simply copy this one, and it's already there. Let's remove that one. We don't need to have it because we already have this top list creator, so we don't need to have extra titles for the creators. Okay, so that's why I removed it. Okay, so that's okay, that's look good. Now let's close this one, and now we can start working on our follower tab. So before we start writing code for this follower tab, I noticed that many of you guys are in hurry for building this entire application, but trust me, once we completely build this entire home page, and that's why I have divided this entire project into a multiple component, because once we complete the entire home page, you will find that these components which we are building and giving so much time for designing and making reusable, that component we can use into the collection page, author page, search page. In those pages we can simply plug this component and the entire template would be ready. Okay, so once we're done with this entire home page, you will find that when we build the other page, it's become very fast. Okay, so just be with me, have patience. I want you to learn something, how to create a reusable component and how you can build any kind of application and design it like that. Okay, so just try to go in a slower pace, because in that way you will learn. Otherwise I can put some background music and I can simply type all this code, or I can provide the entire code, but in that way you will learn nothing. Okay, so with that said, now let's start working on it. So let's come here. Let's import couple of things from React. So first thing, we need use state and we need use effect. Okay, let's come down. We need to import the, let's say, icon. So ri use follower fill, and that's coming from React icon ri. Let's import one more icon, user unfollow fill, and one more is going to be a word line. So these are the icons we are importing. Now let's simply remove this. I don't know why it's came copied twice. Okay, now we need to take this demo data card array, and let's take close to 8 element. Okay, we're going to loop over this card to create the dynamic data. Okay, so we'll take another date. This will call following array, and we'll call news array. So these are the demo data we have. Now let's remove that. Let's take a div. It will have a class called style, and we'll call it, let's say, followers tabs. Inside that we'll have another div. It will have a class called style follower dash box title. In that we'll take the h2 and it will have a top creator list. In that we'll have a div, it will have a class called style dot follower tabs. In that we're going to have another div, it will have a class called style follower tabs button. In that we're going to have the button, so we'll take this button tab and we'll have on click functions. And for the time beings, let's call the function is open popular. So this function will allow us to open the follower component. Okay, so I'm just giving this name, and in that we can call it, let's take the icon. Okay, so the icon we're going to use is ri user follow fill. Okay, and here we're going to take the text popular. So that's the one button we have. Simply replicate this 3 times. Okay, and now simply change the text to following, and this will become news. And we have to change the follower name as well. Let's change the icon first. So this will become, let's say, user fill follow, and this one becomes ri award line. And let's change the function name to this followers, and this one's becomes the news. Okay, remove this r. So these are the button we have here. Okay, simply come down, we'll come down and we'll take a dynamic block. Okay, so here what we have to do is we have to take a couple of use states. So first we'll take popular, and initially it will be true because this is the component we're going to display when someone visit to this page for the very first time. Okay, let's take the another use state, and this will become to following and in false. And the third one is going to be the, let's say, news, and it's false. So these are the 3 use states we have. Now let's come here and let's say if popular is true, then we want to random this component. So inside that we'll take a div, it will have a class, and we'll call it, let's say, style follower tabs box. In that we're going to take the data card array and we're going to loop over it, and in this we're going to render the component tab. Okay, so this is the component we're going to create, follower tab card component, and we're going to loop over it. So, and in that we have to pass the key, so it should be unique, otherwise React will give you an error. And in that we have to pass a couple of props. One is I and the second one is the element. So these are the props we are passing in that follower tab card component. Okay, so this is our dynamic component. Now let's come here, go to this follower tab, and in that we're going to create a folder. We'll call it follower tab card. In that we have to create this JSX, and we have to give this RFCE, and in that we have to create the CSS file as well, module.css. Nothing new, we are following the old is gold. Okay, now let's do the internal import. So internal import, we have to import the CSS file, and that's coming from the same directory. So that's the internal import, sorry. Now let's come here, import the components, and that's coming from the follower tab card and follower tab card. So right now it's working fine. Let's do one thing, let's simply copy this and replicate this. This time we're going to call this one, let's say, let's come up here and we're going to copy this following, and we have to change that one as well, and we have to change the data to following array and following array. Okay, simply copy that again and simply copy again and replicate that, and this time we're going to call the news. Okay, news, we have to change this data to news array. So that's our 3 dynamic component, and only one component would be open at a single time, and that would be triggered on the base of the button click event. Okay, so that's the logic we have. So that's pretty much we need to do here in this follower tab. Okay, so let's expand that one and let's have a look. Aren't we missing anything? No. Let's close all these tabs and let's come down here. We're going to take another div, and in that we're going to have a class called style, and we'll call it follower tab member. In that we're going to have a class, and we'll call it follower tab member box. In that we're going to take this anchor, and in that we'll say show me more. Okay, and this will become an author. Okay, so this is what we have in the design. Okay, so that's the JSX part. Now let's create the function. So let's come up here and let's create the function. So we'll call it const open popular. It's gonna be an arrow function. We'll say if popular is false, then we want to set it to true, and we have to set other component to false as well. Okay, so set following news following, simply replicate that and do this false true, simply copy and simply paste here, and we have to change the name to, let's say, open news, and this become true and the rest would be false. Okay, so that's, we are done with this open close tabs, and here we are getting some error. Title is undefined. Okay, just reload the browser. So we have this problem. Okay, let's come back to the code and let's have a look. Okay, that's the problem. We have to remove this dot to dash. Okay, if we reload the browser right now, we have no more error, and if I scroll here, you can able to find that we have the title, we have the 3 button with the icons, and the card is also displaying, and the anchor buttons are also displaying perfectly. Let's click on this. Okay, that function is not working. Why it's so? Let's click on this. Not working. So let's come here and let's bring the terminal down, and here I have noticed one thing, that I have to change the check. Okay, so I have to say following, and this will become the news, and now we have to save it, and now let's come, now we can easily able to open close. It's working fine. Okay, so that's component is working fine. Now let's come here and let's go to this follower tab card, and let's start working on this component. So we need to import couple of things. So first thing is going to be use state, that's coming from React. Okay, use state. Now we need to import the, let's say, image, that's coming from Next.js, and we have to import the icons, verified icons, and that's coming from React icons MD. Okay, now we have to import the TI tick, and that's coming from the React/TI. So these are the external import. Now let's come down. We have to import the images, which is inside that /images folder. So that's pretty much. Now let's come here. We have to take this use state, and in that we'll call it following, and it would be initially false. We'll remove this. Let's come remove this, and we'll instantly return. We'll take a div that will have a class called style dot follower tab card, and that will have another div. It will have a class called style follower tab card dash rank. In that we'll have a p, and we'll say hash, and we'll add the dynamic data. Okay, I+1. And you might be thinking from where we are getting this I. We are sending as a prop in the follower tab card component. Okay, and then we'll take a span. So let's come here and type this. I need to take a emoji, simply copy this emoji, and that's what I want to display. Okay, so that's the middle, and here I need to receive the props which I'm sending in the follower tab component. Okay, so simply give this, and we need to receive the I and the element itself. So come here and let's close this one, and let's come up here, and here you can see here we are sending. So let's come down and we'll take a div. It will have a class called style and tab follow tab card dash box, and that will have a div. It will have a class called style dot follower tab card dash box dash image, and that will take the image. So we'll say image, it will have a source images dot background 1, and we have to assign the alt tag is, let's say, profile background. Okay, profile background we have, and we need to assign the width 500 and height. We need to assign the class, so style dot follower box image. So let's come down. We'll take a div. It will have a class called style dot follower tab box profile, and in that we'll have a image tag, and we have to give the source. First we'll assign the class called style, and we'll say follower tab card box profile image. It will have the alt tag, let's call it profile picture, and it will have a width to 50 and height to 50, not outside, inside. Okay, so that's pretty much. So let's have a object fit to cover, and let's come here, let's add the source of the image. So it's gonna be images dash user. Okay, that's looking perfect. Let's come down, we're going to take the div. It will have a class called style dot follower tab card box info, and that will have another div. It will have a class called style follower tab card dash box info name. In that we're going to have this h4, we'll call it Geda Manan. I don't know, this name is there in the design, so I'm putting this, and let's give this space, and in that space we're going to take the span. Inside the span we're going to render the verified icon. Okay, so that's what we have there, looking absolutely perfect. Let's come down, we're going to have a p tag, and inside that we're going to render the price. So let's give a random price. Let's come out of the div, it will have another div, will have a class called, let's say, follower tab box dash image dash info dash following. Okay, in that we'll have this dynamic. Okay, if following is true, then we want to render this button. Okay, so it will have an on click function, and on that on click function we need to call this function follow me. Okay, we have to call it to follow me, and in this we going to type the text. Okay, follow, and we'll have a span. Inside that we're going to give this tick mark. Okay, that means the user is following. We'll take the another anchor tag, and in this we need to do the same thing. Okay, well, it will have an on click function on this, and when someone click on that we need to call this follow me function, and inside that we need to type our text following. We'll give this space, so we're going to render this following message. So that's the JSX part we have written. It's working absolutely fine. So let's come here, and now we have to create this function follow me. It's gonna be an arrow function. We'll say if following me is true, then we have to set this set following to true, else we need to call it set following to false. So that's our follow me function. So it's working absolutely fine. Let's have a look. Let's come back to the application and let's try. You can see everything is working fine. We can easily able to render the title, button, images, and here is the medal, and with the 1 2 3. Okay, so working fine. So this look good. If we click on this, we can easily able to switch to different tabs. You can't see that, but it's happening. So let's come here and come to the follower tab, and let's get start styling this. Okay, so let's make this side by side so you guys can see what we are working on exactly. Okay, so let me do the proper side by side inspect element, and here you can able to see what we are working on. So let's zoom it a bit, and let's come here. Let's come here, target the follow tab, and width is going to be, let's say, 100%. Padding is going to be padding block 6 RAM, border 1 pixels, position relative, padding bottom 13 RAM. Let's come down. We'll take the follower tab title. Width is going to be 30%, 13 RAM, margin 0 auto, and padding is going to be 0 0 6 RAM and 0. That's how it will look. Let's come down. We have to make it text align center. And let's come out of that. We'll take a target the follower title h2, and font size is going to be 3 RAM, a little bigger on the desktop, and margin bottom is going to be 4 RAM. Let's come out of that. We'll target the follow tab dash tabs buttons, and background is going to be our main color. Padding is going to be 0.5 RAM and 1 RAM. Border radius 4 RAM. Display flex. Justify content space around. Gap is going to be 1 RAM. Align item center. Font size 1.2 RAM. And box shadow is gonna be our box shadow color. Okay, this is how it will look. Perfect. Let's come down. We'll target the follow tabs button, and we can say background where icon color. Color is going to be our main color. Padding is going to be 1 RAM. Border none. Border radius 4 RAM. Cursor pointer. Border 1 pixel solid. Where icon color. That looks pretty good. Let's come down. We have to get these transitions all 0.3 second easy in. We'll target that follow tabs button itself. On over effect, we want to add some styling. So background color is going to be transparent, and let's say color is going to be our icon color. So as you can see, it's working perfect and beautiful. Now let's target the follow tab box, and width is going to be 80%. Margin 0 auto. Display is going to be grid, and grid template column is going to be repeat for 1FR. Gap is going to be 2 RAM. This is how it will look, and you can see we can easily able to switch between different component. Let's come down. Well, target the follower tab box anchor A, and let's target the first child. This will become, let's say background color is going to be a transparent color where it's become icon color, and transition all 0.3 second easy in. So we are targeting our button, first button, and let's add the follow button box, and let's come up here. Okay, let's come here. We'll target the follow tab member box, and it will say margin 0 auto. Okay, we got an error, and padding is going to be 7 RAM and 000. Align item center. So our button will be in the middle. Now simply copy this portions and simply remove this width. Okay, we'll target the, let's say member box on over effect. We need to have a background color to where icon color, and color is going to be our main BG color. Let's come down. We'll target the member box A, and background color is going to be, let's say icon color, and margin inline is going to be 1.5 RAM. Padding is going to be 1 RAM and 2 RAM. Color itself is going to be our var main color, and border radius is going to be 2 RAM, and border 1 pixel solid var our icon color, and box shadow is going to be, let's say box shadow. Font size is going to be 1.3 RAM, so it's look pretty good. Let's come up here and let's try to have a look. So it's working fine. You can see our button looks absolutely perfect on a large device. Okay, we're going to make it responsive. Okay, this is how it will look on a smaller screen, but this is how it look on a larger screen. So it's working 100%. Our on over effect is also working fine. So let's come down. Let's add a media query. So admin device width is going to be, let's say 320 pixels, and max device width is going to be, at least make it to 425 pixels, and that we're going to target the follower tab, and padding block is going to be, let's say 6 RAM. Let's come down. We're going to target the follower tab box, and width is going to be, let's say, 90%. That's how it look. Let's come down and we'll say follower tab title, width is going to be 90% for the title. And let's come down. We're gonna target the follower tab title h2, and we need to remove, make it 22 RAM size. Let's come down. Follower tab member box and gap is going to be 0. Let's come down. Follower tab dash member box A, and font size is going to be 0.8 RAM, padding 0.5 RAM and 1 RAM. So that looks perfect. You can see the button is looking great. Let's come down. We'll target the tabs button, and button itself will say font size is going to be 1 RAM. So that's how it will look. Okay, that's looking great. Let's come here in this and let's say grid template column 1FR. So that's look absolutely perfect. Now everything is perfectly aligned. So that's look great. Let's scroll down, and that's the first media. Go simply copy that and simply paste here, and we need to change the, let's come here, let's have a look. Okay, that's what we want to achieve, and here we need to change this to, let's say, 428, and this will become 769. And that we're going to target the follower tab, and we'll say grid template column repeat 2FR. Okay, let's align that properly. We'll target that follower tab title and we'll make it width to 90%. Let's close it down, and follower tab title h2 is gonna be, the font size is going to be 3 RAM. Let's come down. We'll target the follower tab member box A. It's going to be font size 1 RAM, and padding is going to be 0.5 RAM and 1 RAM. So let's close that one. Simply copy this and simply paste, and now we have to say follower tab width is going to be 90%. Follower tab will say title 2, font size is going to be 3 RAM, and this will become title. Let's come down. We need to simply say follower tab box width is going to be 90%, and grid template column repeat to 1FR. So if I come here, open in the large scale, you can see everything is working fine. Right now we have in 2 columns. If we go in a larger screen, we have this in 2 columns. So things are looking good. So let's come back here and let's have a look. You can see this is how it will look on a small device, big device, and let's make it 60. Let's make it 90. Okay, and that's look perfect. We can easily able to switch. Okay, everything's working fine. So let's close that one. Let's come here, go to this card component, follower card component, and let's start styling that portion. So before we do that, let's come here. So this is what we have to target. Okay, so let's come here and let's follow tab card, and display is going to be grid template column repeat for FR, and let's say border background color is going to be our main color, main BG color, border radius 2 RAM, transition all 0.2 second easy in, cursor pointer, position relative. So that's how it will look. Okay, we are missing something, so let's come down. But before we come down, we have to check. So what we are targeting, we have targeted this, but we need to target this portion, box. So change this to box, and now it's looking good. Okay, let's come down. We have to target that box. On over effect, we need to add a, let's say, box shadow. So we'll say box shadow, and let's come down. We'll add this rank, and this will become our position absolute, Z index 111, background color var icon color, Okay, color itself is going to be our main color. Line height is going to be 0, margin 1 ram, font size is going to be 0.8 ram, padding 1.1 ram and zero point 0.5 ram. Okay, border radius 2 ram, border 1 pixel solid, var dash icon, transition all 0.3 second easy in, follow tab card, rank on over effect. We need to change the background color to main color, and color itself going to be our icon color. Okay, we'll target the follower card box image and column 1/1. So this is how it will look. You can see it's look perfect. Card box image, and border radius is going to be 2 ram. We'll come down, we'll take it the box profile, and it's going to be grid column /-1, and text align is going to be center. Margin top is going to be -2 ram. Position is going to be relative, so it should be in the middle. We'll say box profile dash image, border radius is going to be 50%, padding 1 ram, z index something big number. Okay, follow tab box profile. Before we're going to create this position absolute, content is going to be empty, width is going to be, let's say, 5 ram, and height is going to be 5 ram. Background color is going to be our main color, and border radius is going to be 50%, top is going to be -20%, and left is going to be, let's say 30%. Okay, so if we save it, you can see we have a circle there. Let's change this number to something 20. Okay, no, 40. It's become, let's say, 35. Let's make it 38. Okay, this one is looking good. 38. Okay, this looks perfect. Now let's come down. We have to target the box info, grid column /-1, and display is going to be flex, align item center. Line height is going to be 0, justify content space between, margin top -1 ram, padding inline 1 ram, and padding bottom is going to be 1 ram. So that's how it will look. It's look perfect. Let's come down. We're going to take this follower tab card box info. H4 is going to be font size 1 ram. Line height is going to be 0. Okay, that's look good. We'll come down, follower tab card box info. Following anchor, we need to say color is going to be our shadow light, shadow dark color. Padding is going to be 0.7 ram and 1.5 ram. Background border radius is going to be 2 ram. Border 1 pixel solid, our shadow dark light color, and transition all 0.3 second easy in. You can see we have this nice background shadow. It's working fine. Let's come down, target the follower tab card info. Following anchor on over effect, we want to change the background color to transparent. So let's remove this one, transparent. Okay, simply change this to slash, and this one is to this. So you can see right now we have that color. Okay, so make sure you do these changes to see the stylings applied. So working fine. We can easily able to change that. And let's come down here. Let's add a media query. So min device width is going to be, let's say, 320 pixels. Follow tab card box profile. Before, we would say left is going to be 38%, and info is going to be padding inline 2 ram. Follow tab card box image, It's gonna be 200 height. And let's take a media query, third media query, and it will have a min device width is going to be, let's say, 322 pixels, and the max width is going to be, let's say, it will go all the way to 375 pixels. And in that we'll target the tap card box profile, and we'll target the before, and it will have a left to 39.5%. and these numbers are not magical, okay? I tried and tested and I found that these numbers are suited best. Okay, so here we have that. Now let's replicate that, and here we need to simply, so this is what we have. Let's close this one, and now we have to change this 377, and this becomes, let's say, 425 pixels. And in this range we want our left should be 41%. Now simply replicate that and change this media query to, let's say, 427 pixels, and this becomes, let's say, 768 pixels. Okay, and this time we'll call it, let's say, 39.5%. so we need to add one more time. So let's come here. This will become 770 pixels, and this will become 1024 pixels, and this becomes 42%. So this is the media query we have written for our before element. Okay, so let's come here, and you can see everything's working fine. Looks absolutely perfect on the mobile device. We can easily able to turn it down and turn it off, but somehow the function is not working. The function we have created to tick or untick, we're gonna check that what's the matter. Okay, and this one is also looking good, but you can see we have this nice over effect. This one is also working fine. And let's come up here. This function is not working. We're not able to turn the following. Okay, so those functions are not working, but our over effect is working, and our tab is also working. We can easily able to tab and open different component. Okay, so things are looking good. Let's come back to the code, and let's go to close this one, go to the JSX, and let's have a look what's the matter. So if we come here we have the functions follow me and unfollowing and follow. So this looks good. We don't have an issue here. Everything is good. Let's come to the functions, and here is the problem we have. So this is the following, and we need to call that following, not follow me. Simply change this to following, and now it's working. So let's come here, and let's, you can see we have this follow, and we can follow, and if we click one more time we can simply unfollow that. So it's working fine. Let's come here and let's have a look. So everything's working fine. So these components are looking good. We can easily able to switch between tabs, and let's have a responsive mode. So this is how it will look on a mobile device. No issues in this. Okay, we can turn it off, turn it on, switch back and forth. Okay, that's look good, and that's pretty good. So things are looking good, no issues in this so far, but we need to fix the button. Okay, so let's come to this. We have button here. So this is the button we have in a follower tab. Simply copy that, and let's come here and go to the CSS file, and here we need to set that here. So here we have that. Let's say width is going to be, let's say, 80%, and margin 0 auto. So this will come in the middle, but I want to have the button in the center. Okay, so let's come down and let's say, okay, simply copy this one, come back here. Okay, come, so this is what we have button here. So let's come here and let's say text align center. So in this way we'll have the button in the center. So make sure you do these changes. Okay, so this is how it will look on a desktop, and this is how it will look the button in the mobile device. So here what we can do, simply remove this width, and now it's looking fine. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's remove that one. Now things are looking good, so look perfect. Let's have a look one more time. So we have this nice styling, all the component we have designed so far, that's working absolutely fine. Open, close. This is the card component. And let's come back to the code and simply close all this tab, and all the things are working fine. Let's have a look. Let's come back to the, let's come here and come back to the CSS file and simply change this color. Okay, let's add our icon color, and if we click on this, okay, not this one, we need to add the, simply remove this one. Okay, this is the right one. We need to add this, our main color. If you click on this, okay, now it's looking good. So make sure if you want, you can change this, it's an optional, but I would go with the brand color. Okay, let's come here and have a look one more time. So things are working fine. Okay, let's have a large screen, so tabs are working fine. Let's have a final test. Nice over effect we have, follow, unfollow, so things are looking good. Here, this is the card component. Let's close this one. Let's come back and let's stop the application from running, and let's add the code to GitHub. Simply delete this one and initialize that get in it, and let me upload the code to GitHub so you guys can get it, and you know the process that how we're going to upload it. So let me do it very fast. Okay, so by the time I'm doing, just listen to this music.